Okay, this is just a quick vlog on my RVF400 on my new GoPro 3 Plus Black Edition. Just got my microphone kit in the mail, so I thought I'd give it a quick test out. It's quite hot today, so I don't want to be out too long on the bike. Yeah, I've owned this Honda RVF400 for about 7 or 8 months. Bought it as a bit of a project, do a bit of work on it. Everything was pretty much there on the bike. It just needed a bit of looking after and a bit of touching up here and there, and it was mechanically stock but had the Tiger kit already on it. I would have preferred the standard bodywork, but for the price I got it for, I couldn't really be picky. I bought it unregistered, spent a month doing bits and pieces to it, put new fork seals in it, new indicators because the older ones are sort of a bit busted, new tyres, the other ones are a bit worn, a bit old, so I went to new Pirelli Rosso 2s, very nice tyres, very grippy. It's more than enough of this little bike, but it's not a track bike for me, so it doesn't need super sticky rubber. What else have I done? And since I got it registered, I've then done braided brake lines, new brake pads at the same time. A half system exhaust uses the standard front pipes and the standard rear manifold, but the rest of it's all changed. It does improve on the standard setup. It's a lot more better flowing, especially with the end can on it. I then changed the carb springs and the jets to suit the exhaust. I left the airbox alone. There's still got the standard Honda filter in there. Changing the air box on these, it's a hit and miss. Other than that, I put LEDs where I could. I changed the rear number plate light for an LED, looks a lot better. I choose less power as well. Same with the instrument cluster bulbs, they're all LED. These bikes aren't known for having the best electrics. They are better than the VFR400s, but anything I could do to save the electricity a bit on this bike, the better. Put some new grips and bar ends on it, and that's about it. Just little things, fork adjusters. I've done is I changed the gearing slightly. When I bought it, it had +2 on the rear. Doing a bit of reading, going -1 on the front gives it much better acceleration, makes it nicer around town. It's completely transformed the bike for the better. This is very nice on the street for a 400. I think it goes pretty well. I also removed the speed restriction. It stops at 180. So what else have I done to this bike? Also put new radiators in it. The original ones being nearly 20 years old, full of crap and bent fins, and new ones really weren't that expensive anyway, especially to save your motor. When you're moving, this bike really does stay a lot cooler now. These bikes do run a bit hot. The way the temperature gauge is set up, it doesn't really give you much confidence. It's only the very end of the gauge, it's red, so even when the bike's gauge reads 3/4 on a normal car or bike, you think that's very hot, but that's normal for this bike. It did concern me the first time I rode it that it was overheating, but yeah, having a look, it wasn't really that bad. It does cool down when you get moving. It just doesn't really like stop-start traffic on a hot day, which up in North Queensland you get a fair bit of. As long as you stay moving, it's all good. The fan kicks in and does an alright job of keeping it cool. Doesn't let it overheat, that's for sure. Why did I buy this bike? I was just looking for a cheap project. I'd look around and you could see old CBR 250RRs, and these bikes, you can get them cheap occasionally, and they do make really fun bikes. There's not much to them. They're carbide, 4-cylinder. There's not that many fancy things, so there's no real electrics to them, like everything's analog on the dash. This one come up cheap. It was only just down the road from where I live. It was crazy not to get it. It sounds incredible, this thing. Always commented on the unique sound the V4 makes due to the unique firing order. It uses the Big Bang firing order. Yeah, if you do a Google or YouTube search on that, you'll get more information. I'd spend forever trying to describe it and probably get it wrong anyway. But the main thing is that it was designed for the bigger RC30 and the RC45 race bikes to not overpower the wheel. There's a bit of a gap in the firing orders, but probably not needed for a 400, but it does keep the same noise as the bigger V4s. The bike, it also stops very well. It's got twin 4-piston calipers on the front and a twin piston on the rear. Even though it's old, it's got a few good things about it. The main thing these bikes are known for is the single-sided swing arm. I don't think any other Lambs bike has one, but very unique feature. Everyone sort of thinks it's a more exotic bike than what it was, especially when I didn't have any stickers on it. No one knew what it was. They also handle very nicely. They're a very light bike. It looks small under me. I'm 6'1". It's very light and nimble, especially compared to my CB400, which is an older design, even though it is a newer bike. These are basically a race replica of the bigger brothers, the 750s that used to race. These are still quite popular in 400 class racing, especially in the UK, where they weren't sold new, but the grey import market just loves them. There's a lot of parts I get from the UK. I think these bikes love to rev. There isn't all that much down low, although it doesn't really chug along down low, but this thing loves to be above 7 grand. Like at the moment I'm sitting at 5 grand, it's alright sitting around 60. That's fine, but if you really want to get up and going, above 9,000 RPM where it's at, Redline's just over 14,000. You can get the race ECU for the ignition, which makes it go to 15.5, but they're expensive and goes well enough as it is now. bought it, I was a little bit put off. I have a personal thing against carbies, and this bike, a lot of people do seem to have dramas with the carbies, not because of a design fault, it's just some people get in there and think they know better and change things around, and they don't always do the right job. These ones I've had no drama with. I did change the jets and the springs to suit the bigger exhaust. I was worried that it wasn't going to run properly after doing that, but it started up first go, and yeah, it even starts easily. If I'm dead cold, pull a bit of choke, hit the button, leave it for a couple of seconds, and choke off, and it runs perfect. Although there's a few times it struggles a little bit. Just every now and then you think, oh, injection would be a lot smoother at this point. But it is an older bike. They do still pull decent prices though. Very original ones, the original paintwork and fairings and low kilometres do seem to fetch good money still. Probably because they're one of the fastest lambs bikes you can buy, and they're quite restricted when you get them. Like I did basic mods, exhaust, and fiddle with the carbies, and it just made a hell of a lot of difference. Even if they were mechanically stock and you probably did the gearing on it, it would still make it a very quick bike, as long as you got rid of the restriction in the speedo, which is a 5-minute job. I'm currently trying to sell this bike, almost ready to move up licensing, and I found another bike I want. I'm not going to sell the CB, at least not for now, so this one's got to go. 36,000 kilometres on it at the moment. Got a full year's registration from Queensland. I will sell it at a roadworthy if it sells to a Queensland buyer. Yeah, a few chucked a set of rear sets on it, maybe some new adjustable levers. There'd be nothing else really to do to it. Ride's nice. If you're into track days, you could even take it on there. I think it would be very, very good on a short, twisty track. Anything with long straights, you'd probably get eaten by 600s or more. But, a competent rider on one of these on a short track, that would be amazing. Find a V4 Lambs approved race replica bike. It may not be nowhere near as quick as sort of leader bikes or anything, but God, this is fun. Just the mid-range power for a little bike, and just so light. This thing's weighing nothing. These are probably one of the last of the 400 4-cylinder bikes that Honda made up until the CB400 was reborn. This is definitely probably the last 400 sports bike that they made. I see why they're so popular. It's very fun to ride. It may not be the most user-friendly bike, like especially with these fairings. There's no storage, no room for a toolkit. It's only a single-seater, which doesn't worry me. It's just you can't take it to the shops and pick up a magazine or anything like that. There's no room to put anything. There's no real spot to even secure your helmet. So it's just a good sort of a weekend bike. If you wanted to ride it around the twisties on the weekend, it would be good for that.